Good evening and welcome to War Thunder. I am your host, Old Dead Man. 3 dev servers in less than a week. 1 for 3 days and 2 for about 3/4 of a day each. My heavens, what is Gaijin doing? They're killing me is what they're doing. Anyway, this dev server has a bunch of small changes jumping in on it, and they need some data to test out one particular feature while they're at it. But let's go through things just real fast as to what's coming in this third dev server that is different from the first and the second. Alright, first up, shells of 120 millimeters and larger for HE and AP now will cause terrain deformation when you shoot them. Now, I've picked a spot right here that does not have anything on it. You can see there's a little bit of grass. And the enormous pest shell has left a divot in the ground. Right there. So, let's move that out of the way. So now you can see that even these larger shells are now leaving small divots in the ground. And they do still affect how your tank moves, as you saw that it flipped around and dipped into the hole a little bit. Are they going to be like all that and just destroy all the terrain? No, but it provides a greater level of realism. And that greater level of realism is a good thing. Even in this yucky area, it also added a nice new hole in the ground that you actually have to drive through. So that is one of the new features that they're trying to test in the latest patch here. Again, that shells over 120 millimeters, HE and AP. Hash counts. Moving on, over here in the French air tree, we have a new premium, the AD4NA. And I don't know why they're adding this particular premium. There's nothing else new in the French tree. It doesn't fill a particular technical hole. They've got the regular AD4, and this does not appear to be any higher performance than the regular AD4. But, you know, and the ordnance loadouts are exactly the same. But they are adding it as a premium. So if you need a premium, check it out. Maybe they'll be adding some new aircraft that this will be useful for actually grinding through. But I don't see anything added at this point. That said, it's a GE premium, so it could just be added to the tree just for the sake of having it in the tree. They've already got an 84. This is not in any way unusual. You don't have to buy it. It doesn't add anything to the tree, so if you want it, it's available to help you grind out your French trees. And now we're moving on to Israel. Now, as a reminder, please confine your comments in the section below to what if you think the Israeli tree should be added to the game, and if there are other trees that you would prefer to see added instead. Now, they've got the 2 new premiums right here. They don't have the rest of the tree in just yet. We have the Spitfire LF Mark 9. With this fancy new camouflage. And that's the Wiseman camouflage. Let's go ahead and take a look at the secondary weapons. We've got the 250-pound bombs. And we have the 8-centimeter Orlikin rockets. That's an interesting one with a 1-kilogram explosive mass, so it should be a pretty effective little critter. Otherwise, it's a perfectly normal Spitfire LF Mark 9 Echo. And it should really be a mover for these particular BRs. 690 kilometers per hour is definitely nothing to sneeze at. Plus that 14.8 second turn time, you'll be ripping some serious enemy butts right out of the air. And of course, no tech tree is complete these days without an A4E in it. And the Israelis are getting an A4E late. This puppy is going to be pretty much as effective as the one in the US tree. Reasonable dogfighter, though nothing special. You're definitely not going to be winning turning fights with it unless you've got a really badly turning opponent. But overall, hey, it's going to have the missiles, it's going to have the stuffs, and it'll do a pretty good job. It looks like they don't have anything unusual in the ordnance loadouts, some walleyes, a bunch of garden variety rockets, and just a couple of AIM-9Bs. So at this BR of 8.7, it should do okay. I'm not going to say it's going to be stellar, but it should do okay. As though the trouble with Russian helicopters wasn't enough, they're adding a brand spankety new Mi-28 NM as the 11.0 attack helicopter in the Russian air tree. Let's take a look at what this puppy brings to the table. A 259 kilometer per hour top speed stock, reasonable, and a maximum altitude of 5,400 meters. If you're ever at that point, if you're that high, you're really going to be attracting SAMs. The modifications include secondary weapons, so let's take a look at what we got. We got Igla air-to-air missiles, S-130F rockets, and 9M120-1 Attacka missiles. We got the Chrysanthema missiles, and we have gun pods and rockets, S-8KO rockets, and just a variety of things. Let's take a look at what the range is on these. The air-to-air missiles have a 6-kilometer range, so that's not too bad. At least their launch range is 5 kilometers. But they only go Mach 1.7. So some of the other aircraft in the game can actually outrun these if they really just pour on the coals. Another change on the F-4E Phantom II, they're getting the walleye guided bombs, so that's a nice change for it. And on the AGM-65A and B and other optical guided bombs and missiles, they'll be able to lock onto ground targets and areas of ground, so you'll have a couple of options on how you want to drop and use those. So keep that in mind as a change. They're also adding the ability to lock onto ground targets to the KH-29T. So those are changes that are coming in the next patch at this point. They also updated the fire effects and explosions on ground vehicles, that includes ammo rack fires that have been separated for different types of vehicles, with and without armored ammunition loggers. And the muzzle fire effect with an open breech has been added. So keep an eye out for that as well. And that's really all the changes that they've added from the second dev server to the third dev server. And doggone it, 3 dev servers in 1 week. I am still floored. This is just insane. How fast are they going to release this patch? I don't know. But it's unusual to get this many dev servers this quick in a row. There might even be a 4th one. It depends on what they're planning to do. If nothing else, they might want to at least put the rest of the Israeli air tree, at least some of it, in there so people can see what they're going to be getting into the closed beta test for. Don't know, but we'll see where that goes. All right, that's everything from me today. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll see if I can get them answered for you. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. You have a great rest of your day, and we're going to see you in War Thunder.